Winners of 5 in a row and 9 of 10. The Rays have vaulted themselves into a playoff position. Now, as the All-Star break approaches, Finn Zobrist and the explosive Rays offense looks to continue to mash its way up the standings. Strap yourself in, fans, and watch the Rays go swinging. Yeah, baby. Welcome tonight to Tropicana Field, where the Rays and the Minnesota Twins square off Game 2 of the 4-game series. The Rays riding a 5-game winning streak. They've won 9 of their last 10, and as a result, the Rays are 3.5 back, alone in second place in the East behind Boston. And right now, they would have one of those wild card spots along with the Texas Rangers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats, Todd Callis along in just a moment. Great to have you looking in. Well, the Rays have been red hot in all parts of their game, including pitching, and they're hoping to get more of that tonight, BA, from Chris Archer.
Well, when you look at Chris Archer, what he's done over his last 3 starts, a couple of things. He's been in better control of himself, and he's been in better control of the strike zone, and it's led to these results right here. A 1-0 record, an ERA of 3.18, a very good opponent's average. And again, it goes back to pounding the zone. That is very key for him. And we talk about that a lot with guys that have good arms, but very key for Chris Archer because he's got that put-away slider. And when he's able to pitch in the zone with the fastball, put hitters on the defensive, and then come with that slider, he can make it a long night for them, and that's exactly what he's done over his last 3, looking to do it for a 4th.
Well, it's hard to believe that just 15 days ago the Rays by percentage points were in last place, but since then they have surged and picked a spot on this field, and they've excelled, including around second base. That double play combination, offensively and defensively, turning out to be a mutual admiration society. We'll have more on that with Todd Callis when we return.
coming up for you on a Tuesday night. The Twins and the Rays. Yunel Escobar getting loose before this one. And his double play teammate, Ben Zobrist. The new DP combo, if you will, because ever since Will Myers has come up, Ben has played second base primarily. It's funny, both these guys are incredibly hard workers getting ready for each game, but after that, their styles are completely different. Ben Zobrist, very fundamentally sound, does things a certain way. Yunel Escobar plays with a style and a flair that is unique to him. As you can see, it works for both guys. They both have a 46-game streak of errorless baseball. Zobrist at second, Escobar obviously at short. You can see what they've done hitting-wise since April 17th and June 7th. Here's Zobrist on Escobar, and also the other way around.
Man, he's amazing. He really is. He's a spark plug for our team. You know, the way he's played all year, he works really hard and has a lot of energy out there. And he's a big part of this team, and you know, we're fortunate to have him.
Un gran talento y me siento cómodo jugando con él, ya que es una persona seria que verdaderamente se puede contar para todo tipo de situación.
He says Zobrist is a great athlete, and he says so far they've been working. You know, it took all spring trainings and the first month of the season to get used to everybody who's played over there. But he says Zobrist is really good over there. He's very athletic, gets to a lot of balls where he says he looks and don't think he's going to get to, he gets to them. So he said not only just at second base, but Zobrist could play anywhere and do really well.
And in addition to what they've done in the middle of the infield and the batting average, they both can leave the yard as well as they did yesterday, hitting home runs, turning a 3-3 game into a Rays 6-3 lead that ended up a 7-4 victory. We're ready for baseball in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Enjoy all the action. Kyle Gibson for the Twins, Chris Archer for the Rays, next on Sun Sports.
On Sun Sports is brought to you by Coventry Healthcare. Coverage so you can keep living the life you want. Go live. We've got you covered. By Tampa Bay Times, amazing stories only in the 2013 Pulitzer Prize-winning Tampa Bay Times. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Fans hurrying in to Tropicana Field, not wanting to miss the first pitch. Just moments away. Second game of the series. Rays winners last night over Minnesota by a 7-4 score. And here's the lineup brought to you by Sweet Bay Supermarket. Brian Dozier leads it off for the Twins. Joe Mauer catching. Ryan Doman will be the DH. Justin Morneau at first. Trevor Plouffe is at third. Oswaldo Arcia in left hitting sixth. Chris Parmalee in right. Aaron Hicks in center field batting eighth. Pedro Florman, the shortstop, hits ninth.
Well, taking the mound tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays will be right-hander Chris Archer, making his 8th start of the season for Tampa Bay. His numbers brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida, a 2-3 record, ERA of 4.17. Coming off an outing against the Astros in Houston, he went 6 innings, giving up just 2 hits, 2 earned runs. Took a no decision in that ball game that the Rays would eventually win 7-5.
Rays start tonight, 10 full games over 500. This is the 3rd quickest they've gotten to 50 wins in Rays history, coming in 50 and 40. Brian Dozier in the batter's box, and the first pitch from Chris Archer is a fastball in for a strike. The first pitch presented by Pinch a Penny. And it's popped back into center. Desmond Jennings there. 1 gone.
Now let's take a look at the Rays defense as it lines up tonight. In the outfield, left to right, Johnson, Jennings, and Joyce. Across the infield, third to first, Longoria, Escobar, Zobrist, and Loney. Jose Lobaton will be behind the plate.
Now Joe Mauer, 0 for 3 on a couple times via the walk last night, hitting .309 for the year. Pitch is down. Fastball already. Archer in the mid-90s at 95, and that's the kind of arm he takes to the hill with him. High octane. And that's in there. 96.
And it's smooth. You know, he doesn't overthrow. Stays nice and tall over the rubber, and when everything's in sync and that front foot is landing and his arm is coming through to the release point, that ball just jumps and explodes out of his hands. Or just his hand. Not both.
And a strike, 1 and 2.
I'm gonna say that would be, wow, quite the pitcher.
Well, if you're just seeing Archer for the first time, and sometimes that's the case, making just his 8th start this year for the Rays, and when we play opposing clubs and they get their first look at him, boy, are they impressed. And that was the case the other day in Houston when he came out throwing the way he did. Alan Ashby, the former catcher, now on their broadcast crew, stuck his head in the door about 2 innings in. He said, "Where did this guy come from?"
Yeah.
And what an arm.
Well, it's never been about the stuff with Chris Archer. The stuff has always been there. It's been about commanding the stuff and not being 2-0 and 3-1 on everybody.
Yeah, he can and sometimes too often does run deep counts. Missed there with
Not
the
by
slider,
much.
and that's a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, it certainly is. Trying to close out Mauer. Yeah, and maybe a little deference to Joe Mauer. That ball looked like he got plenty of play. Entire inner third.
This one drilled toward left center field. That ball will hit the bottom of the wall, carry him back to Jennings, and Mauer's in with a double. Boy, it seems as if that happens every time. When you think you have the guy out on a good pitch, you got to get him out with the 4th strike just a little too much.
It's the same with innings. When you give a team a 4th out, how many times do they score? You give a good hitter like Joe Mauer 4 strikes, he's going to take advantage a lot of times, and he certainly did there. Almost got that ball out of here.
So a 2-base hit is 27th of the year. And we chronicled last night how good he has been throughout his career everywhere, but over 400 here at the Trop. Now Ryan Doman. That's a ball. Fastball missing. Switch hitting designated hitter and catcher at times. Has played some outfield for the Twins, but mostly DH and catching now. It's 1-1. Liner into right field. That's going to hang up and be caught by Matt Joyce for the second out. 2 gone with Maurer still at second base.
That slider had enough late movement on it that Domit did not catch it flush, and so put a nice swing on it. It was a pitch that maybe later in the game he handles a little bit better, but does not quite catch it as flush off the label almost, and that was able to hang up there for Matt Joyce.
And Archer would like a new baseball. Pitcher in a situation like that just didn't like the field.
Yeah, and didn't like the way that pitch came out of the hand. Understood that Domit did not quite take advantage of a pitch that he could have really hammered. Man, sometimes you get a baseball that it just is too big. It feels too big. Guys have their preferences on what they like. And not every baseball is the same. I mean, they're very close, but every once in a while you'll get an outlier and you'll be like, what is this? Put this grapefruit, send that back, give me something else.
A strike the count to Justin Morneau. Liner into center. Desmond Jennings there for it to make the catch. And the Twins leave Maurer at second base. Rays coming in to hit, no score. Scott's going to be hitting second. You saw him chatting with Joe Madden. Starting lineup for the Rays presented by Sweet Bay Supermarket. Desmond Jennings leads off, and then the red-hot Luke Scott, followed by Ben Sobers, Evan Longoria, James Loney, and Matt Joyce down the middle. Kelly Johnson makes the start in left. Jose Lobaton hits eighth, and Yunel Escobar ninth.
Well, taking the mound tonight for the Minnesota Twins is going to be right-hander Kyle Gibson, making his third major league start. You see his numbers from AAA Rochester. That brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida. 15 starts, a 7-5 record. Did have 2 complete game shutouts. 92 2/3 innings. Only 4 home runs given up. Has not given up one yet in the big leagues. So does a nice job of keeping the ball in the park. He is a highly thought of prospect in this Twins organization.
Has only a little over 11 innings in the big leagues in those 2 starts, but his ground ball rate is pushing 70%. So we'll see if that holds true in this game, with Desmond Jennings set to lead off. First pitch inside, 1 ball, no strikes, and you know what Desmond has been up to since moving back into the leadoff spot. That was on the 1st of the month. And he's 14 of 33 since then. That's a strike on the outside edge.
And that's about where you'll see Gibson 92, 93. He can get up a little bit higher than that, but has a very good changeup and a really good slider.
Ground ball to short. Norman makes the play. That's the first out.
Well, let's take a look at the Twins defense as it lines up tonight. In the outfield, left to right, Oswaldo Arcia, Aaron Hicks, and Chris Parmalee. Across the infield, third to first, Trevor Plouffe, Pedro Florimon, Brian Dozier, and Justin Morneau. Joe Mauer will handle the catching duties. Not.
Now Luke Scott. Luke at 262 on the year. Pitch is outside. 1-0. Luke's hit last night a home run. 1 of 3 hit by the Rays, and a bouncing ball to second. So 2 ground ball outs here to start the Rays first.
And the way that he's able to get those ground balls, he's 6'6" tall, and really makes it a point to try to drive the ball downhill and stay down in the zone. And just because of his height, if you keep the ball down in the zone from 6'6", you're going to create a very nice angle. And those pitches are tough to elevate.
Now Ben Zobrist hits against him.
Like that pitch right there. I mean, that ball, you elevate that pitch, Ben Zobrist is going to put a nice swing out and hit a line drive somewhere, but you keep driving that ball downhill like that, it is tough to elevate that pitch as a hitter.
Yeah, that's a severe angle.
You see the top half of the baseball. You get those tall pitchers on that mound driving the ball downhill. As a hitter, if it's coming down towards your knees, you see the top half. And it's tough to get underneath that. Put a little sink on it, it's almost impossible.
Gibson ahead of Zobrist. Popped up foul. Carry out a play.
Well, he made his major league debut on June the 29th against the Kansas City Royals, and it was a great debut. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, didn't walk anybody, picked up his first major league win, and then in his last start, most recently against the New York Yankees, it was, as far as earned runs go, his worst start in 72 career professional starts. 8 earned runs against the Yankees, and that's why his major league number is a little bloated right now.
One hopper out to second. Dozier will make the play. 3 ground ball outs, and we go to the second inning. No score.
Rays as he talks about more recently being in control both with his pitches and with his emotions on the mound.
Comfort over the mound. I just feel if I miss a couple times, I can get right back in the zone by staying with the consistent thought and staying consistent with my delivery.
You said there was a certain calmness about you last start. I think it was noticeable. Did you feel it? Was it tangible to you?
I don't know. It was just one of those things that came about just because I had been reading about it, kind of practicing it to myself. I didn't go out there and like, all right, I'm going to be calm today. It was just like, I had read about it for the few days before that. I'd read about it a few days before that, and it just kind of took over whenever I was on the mound.
Base hit by Trevor Plouffe. He's reading Norman Vincent Peale's book, You Can Win. He says he reads it about 3 or 4 pages a day because it's so intense. It makes him think so much. He's a voracious reader, but it makes him so engaged mentally that that's all he can read. And it really has driven home a little bit of calmness for him, guys. Back to you.
Yep, absolutely. And he, to be just 24 years old, he has a combination of the exuberance of youth, but the presence of someone who has spent more than a little time turning the pages and reading some great material, and he's doing that now. Foul ball back by Arce is strike one.
And as he continues to refine his game, and part of that game is his mound presence, his demeanor upon that mound. That's going to serve him well going forward. You want to be a guy that looks like he's in complete control, and even if you aren't an emotional guy and an excitable guy, there are certainly times for that. But to stay in complete control of that and stay focused on the task at hand, which is the next pitch, that's going to serve him well moving forward.
There's a ground ball to Zobrist out at second. Escobar's throw out at first. A 4-6-3 double play. And that takes care of the leadoff base hit by Plouffe and eliminates the base runner.
Boy, you love this as a pitcher. You got a guy on first base, nobody out. That ball comes off the bat, and you immediately think, oh boy, this is perfect. 2 outs with 1 pitch. That's just an example right there of staying, hey, listen, lead off runner aboard. Just worry about that next pitch, execute that pitch, good things happen.
Chris Parmalee. There's a nice firm fastball at 95 for a strike.
Well, he really does. When he stays in what he talked about with his delivery, staying linear towards home plate, really dropping and driving, not really dropping and driving, but driving down towards home plate, lets that front side just kind of fall off the front of the mound. Drives that ball right to its spot. When he does that, he is extremely difficult to put anything together against.
Ground ball, that's going to go through. Slider and the single up the middle into center for Parmalee. So a 2-out base hit will get Aaron Hicks to the plate. Now you have a feeling with Archer, there's always going to be a little reaction because that's his nature. But we've seen him quickly then get right back to focusing on the business at hand.
And that's the most important thing. You can have a little reaction here and there, but if you let that start to bleed into the next pitch, you're going to have another bad reaction.
First pitch to Hicks is a strike. See his reaction on the base hit by Parmalee.
And I think that has more to do with the pitch location. In the count that he was in, he wanted that slider back foot. He wanted that to be a ball to try to get a chase. Caught a little bit too much plate. He was able to get it up the middle. So you're a little upset with yourself, but that, even so, no big deal.
Hicks down in the count. 2 strikes. Hicks had a big night last night with 4 hits, 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles and a triple.
Think about some of the pitchers who have big-time reactions out there who are very successful, even veterans. How about Jake Peavy? That guy always yelling at himself. He'll yell at himself almost every pitch.
Fastball in off the plate, 1-2.
But it's just a matter of controlling it the best you can, and you've got to get rid of it immediately before you get back up around the mound. If your head is still lingering over the slider that you didn't get to the right spot, the previous hitter, what gives this guy a really good chance.
And now he hits Hicks. So the fastball in on 1-2, and a hit batter. Hicks heads to first, and Parmalee moves up to second.
Boy, did he yank this ball in there. You see the head get yanked, and he got Hicks solid right in that lat rib cage area. A mid-90s heater in a 1-2 count. Boy, he got him good. You see right there Archer's head really yanking towards the Rays dugout, and the arm will follow the head.
Yeah, that was 96 right into the upper ribs.
I'm going to tell you what, in a couple of days, that's going to be some kind of bruise.
There's the number 9 hitter, Pedro Florman.
Bounce
it back.
You'll see colors in that bruise you didn't know existed.
Still trying to get rid of it right now.
I mean, that's such a, listen, that's where you just go up and sucker punch somebody and they'll drop them, let alone 96. Not that I've ever sucker punched anybody up there.
No, never.
As far as you know.
I really wasn't there. I've heard, but I wasn't there. Wouldn't be much of a witness. It's just hearsay. The 1-1. Cut and the miss. 1-2.
You know, that's been a pitch that, you know, has been inconsistent because, number one, he hasn't used it a ton. And then when he has, you see it really good sometimes, and then other times you see the arm slow up a little bit. That was an A+ changeup. That's all you need to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Very good pitch.
And a liner into right. Joyce is there making the catch. 2 men left on base. An inning and a half, and we have no score. Hot dogs all around here at Tropicana Field. It will be Evan Longoria, James Loney, and Matt Joyce here in the bottom of the inning. Tonight's game available in Spanish via SAP. Brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida.
Hot dogs just taste better at the ballpark.
They do. Yes, they do.
It's not a food that I'm going to go to the grocery store and pick up some hot dogs to cook. But if I come to a game,
gotta have
at least one.
Devin taking a strike on the outside edge. Gibson had a 1-2-3 first through 3 ground balls or outs. Two.
That nasty late movement there, that fastball in, and that just darted right underneath the swing of Longoria. Nasty pitch by Gibson.
Well, we're only 4 hitters in, but you can see why the Twins like this young man. Up fly into right, got a fastball moving in on him, and fly ball to short right field.
Well, this was he was their first round draft pick, 2009, out of the University of Missouri, number 22 overall. But then September of 2011, he had Tommy John surgery.
Yep.
And how about that? Was actually back the next late summer pitching in a game, the Gulf Coast League, and has been coming back ever since, starting to gain strength and starting to look like the pitcher that they drafted out of college a few years ago.
Well, he was on the radar screen before that. I think the Phillies drafted him out of high school, but he had a pretty strong commitment to go to Missouri. There's a strike to Loney, young man out of Indiana.
Well, here's the deal.
Okay.
Who's going to get bragging rights against Kyle Gibson? The Tampa Bay Rays or the Durham Bulls? Same organization, and the Durham Bulls have handed him his shortest outing of the year.
They did. I think, what, 4 innings?
3.
3 innings. And they batted him around a bit.
They did. Pressure's on.
Here's 1 and 2. Well, we're 1 out into the second, so they better get going.
Yeah, you don't want the guys down. And by the way, you know those guys down at Durham are watching this. Be like, well, listen, we took them for 4 earned, 7 hits, and 3 innings. Let's see what the big boys can do.
Pitch in, off the plate. It's 2 and 2. Yeah, that was a night in the middle of May. He appeared to have some command issues that evening. He's come out pretty sharp here so far tonight. Now a full count on Loney.
Well, the way they refer to his fastball, they call it a high command fastball. It does a nice job of really, like I said, not only driving the ball downhill, but keeping it on the plate, off the plate when he wants to. Trying to get to that slider and also the changeup.
Broken back roller, second base, and Dozier gets rid of that. So 2 outs. Now Matt Joyce. 5 outs, 4 ground ball outs.
Be interesting to see the Rays as they move through and guys get a good look at them from the bench, and then everybody gets a chance to have seen him one time. What kind of adjustments are made? Because right now he's doing a good job of keeping the ball down, getting those ground balls. Rays hitters will look to have an answer.
It's amazing how quickly they can make that adjustment too. One time through the order, and now they have an idea.
Yep. Well, you see a couple of pitches. You see, if a guy's up there and he's able to see the breaking ball and the fastball, maybe a changeup mixed in, you get a pretty good idea of, okay, arm release point, maybe spin.
Shot into right field. Parmalee's lined up to make the catch. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. We head into inning number 3. No score.
here at Tropicana Field. A lot of the big brothers and big sisters of Tampa Bay are here, and we're talking right now with Deanna Ward from the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Tampa Bay. How are you, first of all?
Well, we just love coming out here. You all are great hosts. It's just a great time to be out here having fun with our bigs, our volunteers, and our littles. Those are the children we serve.
Yeah, you are a big sister yourself. Tell us about getting involved with the program.
You know, all it is just someone who wants to give back to the community by helping a child in need. It's a couple hours a month. Maybe you go to a Rays baseball game. Maybe you go outside and go to the park. Or maybe you read a book. But it's just about spending time one-on-one with a child who really needs that extra attention.
And as we get ready for the third inning here, Brian Dozier will lead things off for Minnesota. For you personally, what do you get out of it when you see the interaction with your little sister?
I tell you, my little sister Charmel has graduated. She just graduated from high school. She's headed to college, and I'm just so proud of her. I've known her since she was 7 years old. So she's literally grown up in front of me. And as much as we talk about the littles getting a lot out of it, the bigs get even more. It's very rewarding.
A lot of them are watching the game tonight here at Tropicana Field. If people want to get involved, what's the easiest way?
You can go to our website. It has all the information on how to volunteer, what the steps you need to take care of. It's www.bbbsfl.org. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Tampa Bay. You can look it up on Google, too.
Yeah, we have it on the screen right now, bbbsfl.org. Deanna, thank you so much. We know it's such an outstanding program. We love when the bigs and littles get to watch a little baseball together. It's a lot of fun.
Well, we just love working with the Rays. Everyone is just so happy, and it just gives us a good feeling. So thanks for being awesome hosts.
We appreciate it. Deanna Ward, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Tampa Bay. Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, that's obviously a great program, and they're out here tonight watching the Rays and the Twins. Swing and a miss by Dozier. Boy, that's a fastball with a little getty up at 96.
Overpowering. You challenge a guy with a ball on the inner half, you elevate it, and you put 96 behind it, and you get that.
First strikeout for Archer. And now he faces Joe Mauer. 1-0. A little over half of his pitches have been 95 plus so far.
Yeah, well, you made mention of that. A couple pitches into the game, he was already right up there, starting off 93, 94, now 95 plus.
There's a strike. It's 1-1.
But another good changeup, and that's a good sign. Well, you'd like to see Chris Archer get all three pitches involved. He becomes then the right-handed version of Matt Moore. When we see Matt Moore get all three pitches involved, I mean, look out.
He's back with a 95 with that fastball. Archer struck out Dozier with a fastball at 96. 96 with that fastball, and Mauer fouls it away. And like Moore, he can get to 96 almost effortlessly, it seems.
Yeah. No, they're mechanics. They keep them very simple. When everything's on time and in sync, and everything's flowing, that ball just comes out nice and clean.
Fly ball deep to left. Kelly Johnson will go to the track, to the wall. He got it. Kelly Johnson kept going back. He found himself on the track. Had to make a little leap as he approached the wall.
No, just continuing to track that ball, drift on it, get a bead, and then make the nice little leap and a catch, tap that wall.
It's a catch. It'll be appreciated by Chris Archer. Ryan Doman.
He must have been doing some reading right before he went out to warm up for this game.
A look of relief right there.
4 or 5 starts ago, there might have been a cartwheel.
2-0 now. Changeup to Doman. Well, against Houston, we saw him throw that changeup, and early in that game, and he was fired up about how good that was.
He was fired up about that getting on the plane.
Yeah. Back into center. Jennings will go to the edge of the turf, right in front of the track, to make the catch. We go to the bottom half of inning 3, no score. Field we go. In the game tonight and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. Couple of 1, 2, 3 innings for Kyle Gibson. The Rays will have Kelly Johnson to lead off, and Jose Lobaton and Yunel Escobar. Yankees have a 1-0 lead at home on Kansas City. That's in the top of the 3rd. Rangers hitting in the top of the 3rd in Baltimore, tied 1-1. First pitch is strike. Rays starting this game, riding a 5-game winning streak, in 2nd place in the American League East, 3.5 back. 1-1. Rays got some help last night on the West Coast from the Seattle Mariners, defeating the Boston Red Sox. Two teams playing again tonight out there in Seattle. 1-2.
Now, to the Rays' credit, they are just taking care of business in a very unassuming way. Nothing flashy, nothing dramatic. Just go out, do all 3 phases of the game well, pick up a win, go home, get some sleep, come back the next day, do it again, very quietly, and move right up the charts in the American League East.
And it's popped to short left. Florman angling out from short. Well, Joe Madden has attempted to remove the schedule issue, and there's some wisdom in that. The Rays are in a situation where they need to take advantage of the schedule, and they have done exactly that. But I really think by trying to dismiss that, Joe Madden has essentially tried to encourage what you're just talking about. Regardless of who you play, you got to play the game the same way. There's no letdown, no playing down to your opposition. And the Rays have certainly not done that. They've been very good about that. And just go play your game that day regardless of who you're playing.
Yeah, and I think that you're exactly right, and I think the reason that he's doing that is because in the past he's seen this team play down to its competition. Well, you're supposed to beat this team. Well, then they would go out and play like they were supposed to beat them. Right now, they're focusing on doing their job and doing it well. That's it. Do your job. That's the simplest 3 words that just work. No matter what you do or what, just do your job.
It's so simple, BA, but you played on teams that had a difficult time just putting all the other stuff aside and playing the game the way that you think you can play it. Just go play your game. Not as easily done as said.
No, and the reason being is because there's a lot of different guys that are involved. This is why it's so important in putting a team together, having high character guys, having guys that take their jobs seriously, guys that are going to work hard, guys that are going to go out and do what they're supposed to do, because you've got a whole team out there. And all it takes is one or two guys to take a night off here or there, and you lose.
He's hit up the middle for Lobaton. He continues to swing the bat well. Good thing about Lobaton, aside from his production and the job he's done behind the plate, but it didn't make any difference if he's hitting left-handed or right-handed. His numbers are pretty much even across the board in that regard.
That's so nice to have. I mean, what a weapon to have a switch-hitting catcher, improving defensively and able to swing the stick from both sides, like you said. What a weapon. He has really turned into one of those the last month and a half or so.
And here's Yunel Escobar. Speaking of a guy down in the order, hitting ninth. Takes it low, 1 ball, no strikes. Escobar, I'll tell you, as ninth place hitters go, we saw him hit that ball last night. He is something to have down there.
Yeah, he is. And the other thing that you like about him is look at all the flair. The necklace is out, the white elbow pad, the forearm, the forearm wristbands, forearm sleeve, the white around the foot. A lot going on.
And then you get this.
Yeah, why not?
You really like that.
Yeah, well, leave the ball up. He's got to listen. He's got one swing. And if you leave the ball up and out over the plate.
Production and flair.
Yeah, a lot of flair. Way above the minimum. Even a little hand guard.
Max Flair.
Yeah.
This is too low. 3-0. That could be his alias. Yunel Escobar, a.k.a. Max Flair.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. Giving the Rays great play at shortstop and a big threat at the plate.
We had so much fun playing this game.
3-1 now.
We saw him last night getting the dugout riled up before the game. Yeah, listen, you're going to go out there for 3 hours to get to play baseball at its highest level. What's not fun about that?
He said he's never had more fun than he's had this year on this club.
And showing.
You can understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it looks like.
Big cut right there. He had the count in his favor. Full count now. There's a little pregame camaraderie.
How do you even keep up with it? Who's next?
Right down the line, even Tom Foley. Foley can do that right-handed and left-handed. His third base coach. One on with one out. The count is full on Escobar. Runner goes, a swing and a miss. The throw down, one hops in, and it's in time to get Lobaton with Dozier putting the tag on him. So a strikeout and throw him out, double play. We head into the fourth, scoreless through 3.
All-Star game in New York City Field. Our question is, our Twitter poll brought to you by AT&T. Who do you think is going to win the fan final vote in the American League? Right now, the Blue Jays' Steve Delabar is leading. They have a nice little coalition going between Blue Jays and Braves fans. Delabar leading the AL, Freddie Freeman leading Yasiel Puig and others in the NL. There are your 5 choices. David Robertson, Koji Uehara, Joaquin Benoit, Tanner Scheppers. Hashtag ASG, Delabar, Robertson, Uehara, Benoit, or Scheppers. Tweet your votes to @SunSportsRays. Who do you think is going to win that final vote? And don't forget, Major League Baseball's All-Star Game on Fox, July 16th, 1 week from tonight, guys.
The 84th All-Star Game, just a week away. Justin Morneau to lead off the 4th inning against Chris Archer. The ground ball headed to Zobrist. And takes care of that in routine fashion. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know, we've watched Matt Moore here and hoping that it works out that he gets a spot. There are a couple other guys, including the former Ray, Grant Balfour, who's having a great year. He's perfect in save opportunities out in Oakland.
And Oakland's playing well. How does he not make the final 5 that are all pitchers?
Yep.
You know, I mean, how in the world does he not make that list?
Want to know the count right now? Two balls and no strikes. Blue single his first time, got it by the shortstop and into left field. Popped up, foul and out of play. Runs the count to 3-1. This is the first 3-ball count Archer has had on a hitter. Into center field. And that's out number 2. Well, here's a look at Grant Balfour. And against the Pirates, he got the final out. Perfect this year, and if you back it up into last year, it's even more impressive. Look at that, 41 consecutive save opportunities, breaking Dennis Eckersley's franchise record out there for Oakland.
And he's still ticked off. Yeah, I just don't understand how he doesn't make the final 5. Maybe not make the team. I mean, even that I find hard to believe. But the fact that he can't even get the final vote when it's all relief pitchers or all pitchers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
2-0.
Well, you still hold out hope for Matt Moore too.
Yep.
And you think that if things turn out the way
the 3 starters going to pitch on Sunday. So you'd think that somewhere along the line,
if they do, yeah, he's got to be in there. Wouldn't you say? I mean, 12 wins.
I mean, logic would tell you, common sense, which I hear is not all that common now. But
it's not.
It should. Look at those numbers in the first half he's had.
Yeah. And his bad stretch was about 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
10 days. Three starts in a row that he'd like to have back.
Yep.
Other than that, just, well, the numbers speak for themselves.
3-1 the count to Arcia. It's going to be out of play. Back into the left. 1 strikeout on the night for Archer. Giving up 3 hits. Hit a man, hasn't walked anybody. Gave up 2 of those hits in the second when he threw a double play ball on a ground ball off Arcea's bat, started by Sobers. Fly ball, got some carry into right center, but Joyce has room in front of the track. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Twins nothing, Rays nothing. Your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Visit your Honda dealer for great lease and finance deals on fuel-efficient Hondas. And by Checkers, feast on. Rays entertaining the Minnesota Twins tonight at Tropicana Field. 2 more games to go with Minnesota after this one, and then Houston in for 3 leading up to the All-Star break. Top of the order for the Rays, Desmond Jennings in against Kyle Gibson. So Gibson starts the 2nd time through. 1 ball, no strikes on Desmond Jennings. We got Jennings on a slider on a ground ball to short his first time. Just with the pitch to open the 4th inning, and comes back with a fastball, a foul ball, 1-1. You were talking about Gibson and the Tommy John surgery. He had that surgery September 7th, 2011. And the next August the 2nd, he was pitching competitively again.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is a quick turnaround. Quick turnaround.
Three and one.
Definitely with that surgery, they have gotten aggressive with the timetable. And I remember having had it twice. You would have the surgery, let's say, on a Wednesday morning, and on Thursday morning, they were starting rehab. They would take that thing and already start to move it, so as not to keep it, just stiff and in that position, locked in that position for a long period of time. And it was just very subtle movements, but it was the next day, and they're already going to work on that thing. Yep. So they have gotten aggressive with the rehab, and you know what? Players have responded. They have responded, and it has worked out.
Jennings walks. Now Luke Scott is the hitter. Luke's been red hot. He grounded to second his first time. Pitch away. Scott hit 1 of 3 home runs by the Rays in the game last night. His came early in the first inning, connecting off the right-hander Duduno. 6th home run of the year. He's at 368 over the last 2 weeks plus. And he's ahead of the count now, 2-0.
Well, you see, second time through, Desmond Jennings able to work the count, ends up on first base. Now Gibson's got to worry about Desmond over there, and he misses with the first 2 to Luke Scott. That's what he does without even having to steal a base. Now you put Luke Scott in a nice count to be aggressive and gets a pitch to his liking.
And there's ball 3. Scott up 3-0. Ron Gardenhire looking on from the dugout. And ball 4. Back-to-back walks. Boy, it's a different look out there from Gibson here in the 4th inning, starting the second time through.
Well, you know, coming into this start, 11 in the 3rd innings, you count the first 3 innings, that's now 14 in the 3rd innings. He did walk 1 guy, and now he goes back-to-back on the walks. Now the Rays, this is one of those innings where you're severely disappointed if you do not put at least a run on the board. You've been handed 2 base runners at the top of the order to start out.
Yeah, you think about it. It's just like you start an inning, you go, we're going to put a guy at first, a guy at second, see what happens.
That's right.
That's where they are right now.
And you've got to score. You've got to take advantage of this opportunity in a scoreless game.
And Zobrist grounded out his first time, hitting a little over 300 with men in scoring position. Pops it up, foul. That will carry out of play. Luke gives it a run over to the railing, but it's well back into the stands.
And this is where Kyle Gibson wants to get a lot of those ground balls that he's been able to get. He wants another one of those right here.
Again, through his first 2 starts, that ground ball rate 69.7%. And he started this game by throwing 3 straight in the first inning.
Yep. Oh, and even like the pop-up of Kelly Johnson, you know, off the end of the bat, that was just, you know, a good pitch down that you're reaching for. You'd even take something like that right here.
And a turn, nothing doing. Tom Foley yelling down to Jennings just to let him know that Foreman was slipping in behind him. There's a ball missing. 1-1. Started to go, tried to check, and could not. That's a strike, says Hunter Wendelstedt. Rays had a base hit in the 3rd inning. It was Lobaton, but he was out at second, running on a pitch to Escobar when Escobar struck out. Lobaton thrown out. And Zobrist did go after that pitch. Puts Ben behind in the count. Lifts a fly ball to center field. And Hicks is there to make the catch. One away, and the runner's still at first and second.
A tight spot there for Gibson, but he does a nice job against a very dangerous hitter in Ben Zobrist. He gets that soft fly ball to center field. Well, now he's got to go after Evan Longoria, who he was able to close him out with a fly ball to right field in his last at-bat by pounding him in with the fastball. See if he is determined to stay in there, or that was just one of those early in the game, pound a guy in. So hopefully that opens up the outside corner for later.
Longoria 0 for 1. The first pitch strike. Gibson up to 50 pitches, and with the 2 walks here in the 4th inning, his strike to non-strike ratio 27 strikes and 23 non-strikes. 1-1. Pitch wide, and as the pitch was made, Dozier broke to the bag at second.
That's where that timing comes in. You know, a lot of time a pitcher comes set, looks back, they've got their little keys with each other, and if all of a sudden the second baseman is breaking while you're delivering the ball to the plate, how about the big hole that you give up right there? Got to give him the right side anyway.
Into the dirt. That's a wild pitch. The Rays move those runners up. Jennings to third. Scott trails to second. Slider in the dirt.
Yeah, trying to be too fine on that outside corner, and that's exactly what he's doing. That first at bat, pounding Longoria in to try to open up the outside corner for later in the game. 4 straight out there, and that one just yanked. Didn't give Mauer much of a chance.
So now the Rays with a chance to pick up a couple runs with a base hit.
You couldn't ask for a much better scenario than second and third now in a 3-1 count. This guy can play.
And he's out in front on the 3-1 changeup.
Yeah, and why not? You've got an open base. You do not want to become predictable here. So just give him that changeup. Looks like a fastball, and good finish on it. Kept it out over the plate. And now if you're Evan Longoria, you're saying to yourself, does he dare do that again?
But that's a pitch in the first couple starts. He's gotten a lot of strikes with that pitch. You can see why on that one. And he strikes out Longoria, got him with a fastball.
Well, you know, in the first at bat, he had thrown 192 in that had good finish on it that he got under the bat. This one he does the same thing, 93. And look at that late sink. Just cannot get the barrel of the bat to it.
A big strikeout for Minnesota and their 25-year-old right-hander Kyle Gibson. It's going to be up to James Loney with minutes second and third, and now 2 outs. Loney grounded out to second his first time. And looks at a fastball, strike 1. Loney with 2 hits, 2 for 4 in the game last night. He's hit safely 17 of 18 now. Way behind in the count 0-2.
Tell me when you've ever seen a swing like that come from James Loney. That's just one of those start to commit, realize you're not going to be able to do anything with it. You probably will never see that again.
A 2-strike count. Rays with their first scoring opportunity, and it has been a golden opportunity. Right now, Gibson a pitch away from getting out of this jam. did he go? He held up on the appeal down to Jerry Lane. Well, that was close.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. On a pitch that was chin high.
Makes you wonder how he's picking up the ball against Gibson. Two and two. Jennings at third base, Scott at second base. Before Gibson makes this next pitch to Loney, Mauer out to talk with the rookie right-hander. The Rays jumped out last night to an early lead. Went on to win it 7-4. No score in the bottom of the fourth inning of Game 2 of the 4-game series. And now a full count. Maloney, who started this at bat way down in the count, 0-2, will now see the 3-2 pitch. Matt Joyce on deck. Three-two. Ball four, and the bases are going to be loaded.
Boy, how about getting Loney down in the count like he did, and then missing as badly as he did for the next 4 pitches.
That's Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, headed to the mound. That's the one thing that's always concerned Anderson and Gardenhire: walks.
Yeah, well, and that's why this staff typically has been very good at limiting the walks. Also, you know, they're a team that's not going to walk a lot of guys, generally speaking. But same with the strikeout. They don't strike out a lot of guys. In fact, they're dead last in Major League Baseball, and about 100 strikeouts behind the next closest team in the American League.
And that's been the mantra of the Twins for years, and Anderson in particular. Throw strikes, pitch to contact. Yep. If they hit it, we'll catch it. They've always tried to have a good defense behind their pitchers and emphasize strike throwers and quality strikes at that. But they have not been afraid to throw strikes and concerned when they're not.
No, and they will give up hits. They're second in the league in hits given up.
Yep. See right there, only one more strike than non-strikes of the 61 pitches he's thrown.
Yeah, and he, like I said, came into this game with just 1 walk. Now 3 already.
Matt Joyce into center field. That ball's going to get down for a base hit. Jennings scores. Scott heads to the plate. He scores. Into third goes Loney. A base hit for Matt Joyce. It's 2-0 Rays.
Well, it's all about taking advantage of opportunities, and in this inning, Gibson has walked the bases loaded. And with 1 base hit off the end of the bat on a pretty good pitch down and away, nice job by Matt Joyce to even cover that pitch. The Rays take a 2-run lead. That is taking full advantage. Another outfield throw clips a Rays hitter on the way to the plate. How about that?
There's Kelly Johnson first and third. 33 runs batted in on the year for Joyce now. So Jennings and Scott, who opened the inning drawing the walks, have scored. Kelly Johnson takes a fastball wide. The ball, no strikes. Ball 2. He's even now. 32 strikes, 32 non-strikes. 28 pitches in this inning. Joyce back in at first. Been an entirely different inning here in the fourth for Gibson than it was the first 3.
And how about it? Second time through, everybody's had a look. They start to make adjustments. Only one had to put the ball in play for a base hit. A lot of this damage done by Gibson himself.
And a shot into left center field. That's going to be in there for extra bases. Lodi trots home. Joyce hits third to wave him home. It's a double for Johnson, and the Rays lead 4-0. Rays have really cashed in on the opportunity now. RBIs 41 and 42 for Kelly Johnson.
Well, clutch hitting. Clutch hitting. 2-out hits. And 4 runs to show for it. Kelly, a nice job on a ball that was down. But see, these guys have started to readjust their sights. They realize this is where he's going to go. So what do I have to do to get to that pitch? He stays back and shoots it the other way. And these 2 guys come around to score to double that lead.
3 walks and a couple big hits, and the Rays lead by 4. This is Jose Lobaton, who singled in the third. Fouls the off-speed pitch out of play. Strike 1. Inning here for Gibson. The Twins start to get action up in the bullpen. High drive into right. That's a base hit. One off to Parmalee. They're going to have to hold Johnson at third. And Lobaton has his second hit.
Well, now it's just becoming target practice.
Anthony Swizak is up in the bullpen for Minnesota in what has now been a 31 pitch inning for Kyle Gibson. And now Yunel Escobar. Fastball misses, ball 1. Gibson made 36 pitches through the first 3. He's made 32 here in the fourth. Ground ball chopped to Florham on its short. Flipped to second, gets the force. So the Rays are finished in the fourth inning, but they send 9 men to the plate. They score 4. And it's a 4-0 ball game. Tampa Bay at the end. proof stat. Alex Torres continues to be effective and then some. He got the win last night when he came on and pitched a scoreless 7th inning. These numbers are just out of sight.
How about that? 6 hits, 8 walks, 14 base runners in 25 innings to go along with 31 strikeouts and just 1 run allowed. Just continues to get it done, and that's why you see him at the back end of that bullpen now. He has fit right in there nicely with McGee, Peralta, and Rodney. Now you've got 4 guys that you can use to really shorten ball games.
Chris Parmelee will open the 5th inning against Chris Archer. Parmelee singled his first time up and takes a strike this time. Archer's given up 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. He's had a couple 3-ball counts. They came to the last 2 hitters he faced in the 4th. 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Important for Archer to stay ahead when you look at what he can do. 1-2 and 0-2. Very impressive. But on this count, 2-1, it's been a difficult time for him. Opposing hitters 7 out of 11 against him.
Well, when you look at even at his after 1 and 2, he gets to 1 and 2, batting average .089 with an on base of 157. After 2 and 1, it's .333 with an on base of 514. How big is that swing to Chris Archer through 7 starts? Huge. May not be that big his entire career, but that's always going to be a big count for him.
Big cut. Parmelee fouls it back. 2-2. The Rays got him 4 in the bottom of the 4th, batting around for the 13th time this year. It's 2-2 with Parmelee. And he is out on strikes. Fastball got him. Second strikeout for Chris Archer. Well, Parmelee heads back to the dugout. We'll check in with Kelly Nash. Kelly?
Thanks, Dwayne. Despite putting up those out-of-sight numbers you were just talking about with Alex Torres, he still remains under the radar. And guess what? David Price will have none of that. He sent out this tweet earlier this morning. Alex Torres, 30 innings pitched, 6 hits. Yes, you read it right. 6 hits allowed, 1 run on broken bat flares, more Ks than innings pitched. Not even talked about. Hashtag All-Star Game 13.
He's been a big part of helping this Rays pitching staff settle in. And now the last few times out in higher leverage spots.
And well deserved and earned. You know, we wondered, because his first 7, 8, 9 appearances, the majority of them the team was losing. You know, he would come in, do a great job. A lot of the games that he had gotten in early, the team did lose. But his performance was so dominating that you couldn't help but say, okay, this guy really needs to take on a more prominent role. Now, how do you fit him in? Because you got McGee, Peralta, Rodney. Those are your 3 guys. How in the world do you fit him in? Now, that man right there will figure out how to do it. But he has certainly pitched himself into that position.
Well, it's a great problem to have.
Sure.
And, you know, since Will Myers has come up and has a night off tonight, it's been a challenge for Madden to get some of these other guys in the lineup and keep them active enough and fresh enough to be effective, because Will's obviously going to play every day.
Yeah, he didn't come up here to sit a day off here or there, but you're right. And again, another nice problem to have so many bodies and talented bodies, productive bodies to be able to choose from. You got to get creative.
Torres came on last night in relief of Roberto Hernandez. Hicks lifts a fly ball into left. That'll be caught by Kelly Johnson. 2 gone, and Torres had a quick 7th inning last night.
Well, again, just continues to be very good. The fastball, the changeup, the occasional slider. just pitching at a different level right now. So much confidence. This is another guy that they talked about. Well, command. He needs command. Well, he's shown that. He has shown that. No question about it. And that changeup, just such an impressive pitch. Almost looks like he's trying to throw a four-seamer too hard.
Norman takes a strike.
And how about the fact, too, that another reason why you don't mind going to him late in the games, even in tough spots, when he's come in, he's inherited 9 runners, and he's left 9 runners standing on base.
Yeah, you'll bring him in at any time now.
Yeah.
2 balls and a strike. And it hasn't happened overnight for him. We've talked about that, about how many innings you can get in. He's got 700 innings in the minor leagues. And things started to click, but it was a command issue all that time before. By Florman. 2-2. Ball game here in the 5th. Archer with 68 pitches so far. Zobrist backhands. The throw to first. 1-2-3. Go the Twins. We'll head into the bottom half of inning 5. The Rays lead 4-0. Rays lead 4-0 tonight. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Tune in tomorrow for the Wednesday night showdown as the Tampa Bay Rays take on the Minnesota Twins. Sponsored by your Tampa Bay area Mazda dealers. Rays will have Jeremy Hellickson out there on the hill tomorrow night. He's had a nice run lately, has been pitching very well. Kevin Correa will be on the mound for Minnesota. And here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Desmond Jennings takes slider off the plate. Rays batted around in the 4th. A chop to third. Plouffe behind the bag at third makes the throw in time to get Desmond. In that 4th, Jennings and Scott opened with back-to-back walks, and the Rays eventually taking advantage of 3 walks in the inning, scored 4 times.
Yeah, he was almost out of that inning, too. After the back-to-back walks, he gets Zobrist to fly to center, strikes out Longoria, and had Loney down in the count, what, 0-2?
0-2.
0-2.
Yep.
Walked him and then hit, and you're down 4 runs. That's how easily and quickly it can happen. You're sitting there, runners on first and second, get 2 quick outs and go 0-2. And then give up 4 runs.
Yeah, he was on the verge of making things very frustrating for the Rays. after putting the first 2 men on, and 1 pitch away from getting out of that.
And it was the 0-2 check swing on the chin high fastball that was very close.
Yep.
Missed badly a couple more times, and then the Rays were off and running.
Pitch in there for a strike. Slider. Luke's down in the count. Top of the 6th in New York. Kansas City and the Yankees are now tied 1-1. Of course it's 1-1. James Shields is pitching tonight for Kansas City.
How about that?
Against Sabathia.
He can't escape it. He can't. He cannot escape it. Yeah, I saw his numbers. They're talking about him, a chance to maybe make the All-Star game based on the first half that he's having. Ran into a little rough patch, which has pushed his ERA just a touch over 3. But again, sitting on 3 wins.
Yeah. And no support at all. Kansas City, however, showing some signs of some offense. Dozier at second base makes the play. 2 ground ball outs in the 5th inning. So they're tied with the Yankees. That's Shields and Sabathia the matchup. Now Ben Zobrist. Texas put 4 up in the 5th inning at Baltimore to take a 5-2 lead. The Orioles batting in the bottom of the inning. Ben Zobrist takes it low. Certainly the Orioles have something going in the bottom of the 5th. Bases loaded and 2 outs. 1-1. Ball 2 strikes now. Beltre hit a 3-run home run, his 20th of the year in that game for Texas. His 2nd home run of the night. Here the 2-2 to Zobrist and a full count. Longoria would be next should Ben get aboard. A foul ball that bounces up and gets him in the shoulder. Ben 0 for 2 tonight. We've gone 1 for 22 in a 5-game stretch, and then the last 3 games 4 for 10. And there's ball 4. 2-out walk. Well, let's see if the Rays can do something with 2 outs again here in the 5th, as they did in the 4th.
Well, the Rays, they don't give up on innings. They have seen far too many times this offense has been able to put together a big inning because of consistently good at-bats. And so why not with 2 outs? You get a couple of guys up there that have some good at-bats. You played another run.
Evan, nothing out of 2 tonight. He shoots it into left field. Garcia back though on the track, and he makes the catch. First pitch fastball. Rays leave a man through 5. 4-0 Tampa Bay. anybody tonight.
No, and Chris Archer has been very good attacking the zone, starting off with that fastball. Came right out of the gate with it in the mid-90s. A lot of strikes, some good breaking balls, changeup. Right now, everything working for Chris Archer. And his ability and willingness to pitch in to the righties and to the lefties. Really has opened up the entire plate for him.
Face the top of the order, beginning his third time through the lineup. Brian Dozier to lead off the sixth. And that pitch gets him. Dozier hit by a pitch. The leadoff man is on. Second man he's hit tonight. Our Toyota trend. The Rays starters over the last 15 games. While the team has gone 12-3, the starters have gone 9-3 with 13 quality starts in that stretch.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, just a great stretch here by the starters, something that you know that they're capable of, and that's why you're excited about this team's chances. If they have that in order, we've already seen the bullpen get itself and rearrange itself back into order. The offense has been good all season long, save for the first 2 weeks, and the defense has been outstanding. So everything right now,
yeah, and the encouraging thing with that, BA, is that you don't feel that the starting pitchers are pitching beyond their capability. They're pitching up to it right now.
Yeah, no, will they continue with those numbers? Probably not, but you're absolutely right. You're not wowed by it. You look at the numbers and say that's outstanding, but you're not like, oh, these guys are so far over their
certainly
skis.
Capable of doing that.
Yeah, each and every time.
And so that's the important thing. Jim Hickey making a trip to the mound. Archer hit Dozier and has fallen behind Mauer 2-0. So he doesn't want him to let things get away from him here.
No, you got a 4-run lead real quick, and we've seen that with the young starters. Jim Hickey quick to go to the mound to try to get them to make that correction.
And just as quickly, Alex Torres is going to start to swing into action in the bullpen. The other thing he's been doing is taking the lineup card out, so he's doing everything.
His turn.
2-0 the count to Joe Mauer. And ball 3. Twins had Mauer at second in the first. They left 2 men on at first and second in the second inning. Mauer looks at a strike, and now they put the leadoff man on in the sixth, hit by a pitch. Archer had retired 10 in a row between hitting Hicks with a pitch in the second inning and opening the sixth by brushing Dozier with a pitch. Got Mauer in the third when he hit the ball to left, deep to left. The ball caught by Johnson. Lifts it into left this time. Johnson just on the edge of the turf in front of the track makes the catch, and Dozier hangs on at first.
Dozier goes back to tag up and forces a throw from Kelly Johnson. Designs on maybe going if the throw's offline. Kelly Johnson, you know, there was a time there that he was right at the top of the heap and outfield assists. Makes a nice strong throw in there and keeps Dozier at first base.
Yeah, with Kelly Johnson, he has 6, and the Twins outfielders are not afraid to make a play on a runner either.
Yeah,
they're filled with assists all over the place out there. And Kelly moving out to left field, he's been very important to the Rays' cause with his ability to play left.
Coming over as a second baseman. Paired up with Yunel Escobar last year in Toronto, and now playing, like you said, a lot of left.
And Archer throws it and skips it by Loney. Dozier hits to second. He's going to go to third. Zobrist had to run the ball down. So on that errant play, Dozier goes all the way to third. So the error charged to Archer. The Rays had gone 9 games coming into this one without committing an error.
Well, and he just short-armed it and short-hopped it. Never really made a good throw there. Kind of threw that ball from his ear and threw it straight into the ground. That was going to be a tough play for Loney, and wasn't able to knock it down. It's a painful error too, because it's a 2 base.
Man at third, the first pitch, and Doman misses it. Swinging over that pitch for a strike.
Doman hits third. He sees a runner on third, less than 2. He wants to drive him in. He wants to be aggressive.
Pops it up, foul ball. Will it stay playable? Longoria near the stands, but it's out of his reach.
And very quickly, Archer able to put him on the defensive.
A 24-year-old right-hander. Archer, Clayton, North Carolina. It's fouled into the screen. Baltimore scored a couple in the 5th. That's now a 5-4 ball game. Texas leading by a run and hitting in the top of the 6th inning. Royals have just taken a 2-1 lead, top of the 7th in New York. Billy Butler has hit a home run. Now 1-2 on Doman. Well, it turns out to be a big hitter here for Archer. That hit batter and then the throwing error. Putting Dozier at third. Tie. 2-2. Bullpen ball loose from the right field side. And just a little piece of it. Got him out in front. It's a foul ball.
And you can tell by Archer's body language that he frustrated that pitch didn't close out Doman, because that was a very good changeup down and away. He put it in the right spot. Doman just able to spoil it, going for that strikeout.
And 2-2 again. Fly ball center field. Jennings there to make the catch. The tag at third. Dozier will trot home to make it 4-1. So it's a sacrifice fly for Doman. His 38th run batted in. So the hit batter to lead it off, and the error converted into a run by Minnesota. The Rays lead stands at 3. Justin Morneau prepares to hit.
Now that's a nice pitch count there by Chris Archer. 82 through 5 2/3.
He's got Morneau twice tonight. Ball, no strikes. Down to first. Loney grabs it, steps on the bag, retiring the side. One unearned run. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 4-1 Rays. Saturday night, July 13th, the Rays take on the Astros, and Disco lives. Enjoy legendary music from Casey and the Sunshine Band postgame. Don't hesitate. Visit RaysBaseball.com/tickets and get ready to do a little dance, make a little love, and get down Saturday night. So, BA, make sure you put on your boogie shoes.
Never leave the house without them, D-Wayne. You never know when you're going to need them.
That's right. It'll be a big night. James Loney takes a strike. To the count. This one is high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. Joyce next, and then Johnson. So Casey and the Sunshine Band here Saturday night. High popper. It's a foul third base side, and that's in the stands. Well, Plouffe was having a little trouble orienting himself over there, and the ball popped out of the glove hand of the fan in the front row, and he retrieved it in the aftermath of all that. But you see, he was in the stands there, not reaching over.
Yep, and that's where Plouffe got into trouble too. As you can see, the low wall, the little angle it comes to there can be tricky.
Side now, full count to Loney.
Where was it that they had disco demolition night?
Chicago White Sox, South Side.
Yeah,
disco demolition. Yeah,
that got a little rowdy.
It did. A little out of control. Yeah, they were blowing up disco records. Remember records?
Yes.
Yeah, they were blowing them up. Renicky and Dunsing the lefty in the bullpen. I tell you, I saw Casey fall off a horse in one of his outings years ago. Dozier with the pickup.
The Casey of the Sunshine Band?
Casey of the Sunshine Band.
You did not tell me.
But all of those tunes that we just mentioned were brand new. He was the entertainment in Houston at the Houston Livestock and Rodeo. They had great, and still have great crowds and great entertainment there. He was one, and came out on a horse and did the circle around the stands and then the center stage. Got to the center stage, tried to dismount, fell off.
Quite the entrance.
But the show went on and was very good, and I'm sure Saturday night it'll be rocking here and fun again.
They always are, and how about it? It's a twofer. You got the entire weekend covered.
Yep.
Saturday night concert, Sunday afternoon concert.
A lot going on right up to the All-Star break.
I can't believe we're already closing in on that break.
Carly Rae Jepsen here Sunday. This pitch is down. 1-2. She's here Sunday. Carly Rae Jepsen, and she'll take the stage following the Rays and the Astros. She'll be performing the unforgettably catchy hit "Call Me Maybe." Others as well, including The Kiss and Tonight I'm Getting Over You. That's my favorite.
Call Me Maybe. Now, that was the song where everybody was doing the little video montages. Didn't that start with, like, Harvard baseball?
Yeah.
Harvard baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They videoed that in a team van on the way from a game.
Yep.
That went viral. Then everybody started doing it. That's the tune.
Chopper to short. Floriman makes the throw to first. Joyce is out, number 2. Well, get tickets by visiting RaysBaseball.com/concerts. Got the weekend covered.
Yep. That's also the song that my 6-year-old son would serenade me with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another reason to sit back and enjoy it.
Yep.
And then just call him and blow.
Yeah, exactly. Now that's an idea.
There's Kelly Johnson. It's a strike at the knees. Kelly doubled in 2 runs in the 4th inning. One. Johnson, another one of the new additions this year to the Rays roster, who has been a significant contributor. 2-1. Spending time with the Braves and the Diamondbacks in the last couple of seasons up in Toronto. Bounces back, got a big hit tonight. That double driving in 2 in the 4-run 4th. Kelly, Austin, Texas, went to high school there. A 2-2 count. And is out on strikes. Rays down, 2 ground balls and a strikeout. We go to the 7th. It's 4-1. We'll call it an evening. He was ready to go out there again in the 7th, and there was a late notification there to let him know that he's not going back, and Torres will go to the hill now.
Yeah, and I think that had everything to do with the score. In fact, when that inning was over, I looked at you and I said, okay, this score stays 4-1. Does he go back out? What'd you say?
No.
That's right. And they didn't let him know until the third out was made, because I believe if it's 5-1, 6-1, he absolutely is back out there. 4-1, nice night. And you can see the look on his face, too. I mean, listen, he had a nice night, pitched very well, but he wanted to go back out there badly.
Yes, he did. And you're glad that he wanted to go back out there. Jim Hickey there, when that inning was over and the Rays didn't score, went down and said, that's it, congratulations, great job. And he goes, what?
Yep.
Really?
Right, because usually when you are coming out of a game, they'll let you know right when the inning's over.
There it is.
He's ready to go. He's grabbing his hat and his glove, and they're now just taking him out. He's like, what?
So Alex Torres on the hill. Torres got the win in last night's 7-4 final. 3-0 makes his 15th appearance.
We talked about his numbers a little bit earlier. They're just in another world right now.
Ahead of Plouffe. 6 innings for Archer. 3 hits, 1 unearned run. A couple strikeouts, no walks. He hit a couple batters. Made 84 pitches. Pitch inside to Plouffe.
He did a great job. Again, that command has been trending in the right direction. And again, just the 1 walk, couple hit batters. The 1 walk did come around to score. The only run to score off Archer, but he was very sharp all night long. And 84 pitches in 6 innings. Another nice stat.
Count is full on the Minnesota third baseman. Cut and a miss. Had him out in front on a changeup to strike him out. Let's check in with Todd now.
Dwayne, as we approach the All-Star break, the American League Rookie of the Year picture is absolutely wide open. When you look at candidates so far, you've got Jose Iglesias having a nice year up in Boston. The guy coming to the plate now, Oswaldo Arcia, having a good year for Minnesota. Nick Tepesh, yes, see Justin Grimm with the 7 wins with a high ERA. Nick Franklin showing some pop for Seattle. No one really standing out. So after Torres delivers the first pitch here to Arcia, we'll show you that the Rays have 3 guys that with a nice second half absolutely could be candidates for American League Rookie of the Year based on the fact that no one has stood out in the first half in the AL amongst the rookies, guys.
With a strike to Arcia, he's down 0-2. Well, that's an interesting thought indeed. Very interesting.
And I'll revisit it late August, early September.
Good.
But they absolutely could. You know, you look at what Will Myers is going to be out there almost every day.
Yep.
So he's got a chance to put up monster numbers in the second half. Or not even monster, but for a rookie, he can do some big things. This guy, you figure he's going to be back in his role at the back end of the bullpen the rest of the season. And if he continues to put up eye-popping numbers, you never know. But
yeah.
Thought.
And Archer with the 6 innings of no earned runs tonight, his earned run average is down to 359.
And if he continues to pitch like he did last time, 2 hits against the Astros, just 1 walk, a couple of hit batters tonight, continues to have that kind of command with the stuff that we saw tonight, he could rip off some wins in a row. Now, I think the other teams' representatives would say the same about their guy.
Ground ball up the middle. Escobar with the pickup and the throw to first in time. That's behind Torres over the hill, and Escobar was right there to throw out Arcia.
Well, that ball was not hit extremely hard, and that's what allowed Escobar to get over to it, make a nice play. Torres trying to knock that thing down, but couldn't get to it. See, that ball just kind of got in on him a touch, and that allowed Escobar to range over. Makes it look easy.
Two outs. Here's Parmalee. Fastball is in for a strike. How about this on this homestand? The run of performances by Rays starters, starting with Hellickson. 7 innings, an earned run. Moore, 6 1/3, no earned runs. Price, 9 innings, nothing, no earned runs. Hernandez, 6 innings last night, 3. And now Archer, 6 innings and no earned runs in this outing. Strike 3 call. Hermele out on strikes. 1, 2, 3. It's 7th inning stretch time. 4-1 Rays.
Heading to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Torres last year, you guys were talking about Carly Rae Jepsen's song Taking Over, Call Me Maybe. Part of that rookie initiation, the hazing at Fenway Park as the Rays rookies were dancing in front of the Green Monster. James Shields choreographed it all. And here you see it. Chris Archer, a part of this, tonight's starter, right there. Jose Lobaton was in the mix. Jake McGee, Matty Moore right there. Stephen Vogt, who will forget this night? Cobber is right there, Alex Cobb. Desmond Jennings took the show with the old backflip. I'll let you guys enjoy here as the 5 of the 7th gets underway, guys.
What was that pitch?
Just another night in front of the monster.
We in Oakland.
Jose Lobaton at the plate now for the Rays. Counts 1-1.
Dwayne, you don't mind if I sit this inning out, do you?
Just boys having fun. How about this, Desmond Jennings?
We found out earlier that that was his hidden talent.
That's it. Here's Lobaton lifting a fly ball into foul territory and a long run, and Garcia has some problems there and could not make the catch on that ball, and turned out to be semi-dangerous.
Yeah, well, he got over there quickly. Then he starts to pull up, tries to find it again, and boy, just whiffs it. Caught that right in the chin. Goodness gracious.
Well, that could have been way worse than what it turned out to be. Lobaton bounces one foul. A 2-2 count. Josh Renicky out there on the hill making his 36th appearance. 6 innings for Gibson.
By the way, that was pretty aggressive rookie hazing.
Yet entertaining.
Yeah. And who would have thought that you could pull that off at Fenway Park up against the monster? Like that would even be allowed.
Yeah.
They got the music over the loudspeakers. They got the lights on. I mean, that was
James Shields, the choreographer and executive producer of that production.
Just being able to nail down that venue is impressive in and of itself.
And strike 3 call. Lobatone out on strikes. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th. Royals lead the Yankees. Top of the 8th in New York, 3-1. And Texas leads Baltimore. Top of the 7th in Baltimore, 6-4. Yunel Escobar. 1 out, base is empty. That's a strike, says Hunter Wendelstedt. Into center. Hicks is there for it. So 2 gone. On the heels of that performance in front of the Green Monster, we remind you can bring that special someone to date night with the Rays Friday, July 12th. Spend time together watching the Rays take on the Astros and enjoy a dinner for 2 in the Everglades Barbecue Smokehouse Restaurant, as well as 2 lower reserve tickets. For more information, visit raysbaseball.com/special events. 1-0 the count. Desmond Jennings up here. Oh! 1-1. Rays scored all 4 of their runs in the 4th inning. Joyce drove in 2 with a base hit. Kelly Johnson doubled home the other 2. Jake McGee down on the bullpen. 2 balls and a strike. The slider missing. Swing and a popper to the right side. Dozier out there for it. The Rays are up and down 1, 2, 3. On to the 8th, 4-1 Tampa Bay. Rays go to the bullpen for the lefty Jake McGee. He follows Alex Torres. So back-to-back lefties following Archer. Archer 6 and Torres for 1 inning with 2 strikeouts, and McGee on for the 40th time with a mark of 2-2. Face Aaron Hicks. Sam Fold in the game, taking over in left, replacing Kelly Johnson, who started out there in left field. Pitch to Hicks, a fastball at the knees. That's a strike. Shields out after 7 innings in that Kansas City, New York game at Yankee Stadium. Yankees now hitting in the bottom of the 8th with Kansas City leading 3-1. 1-1. Toward the middle, but Zobrist is there to make the play. And Hicks is out 4-3.
Tell you what, how many times do you see balls off the bat where if defenders are in their traditional spots, you're like, oh, that's a base hit up the middle, only to see the different camera angle and see that the Rays right there, maybe a couple of steps one way or the other, able to make the play. Do such a good job being proactive on where they set their infielders. More often than not, they are in the proper position.
Pedro Florman takes the pitch down. We'll take a look at what you're talking about right here.
Well, you see Ben Zobrist kind of shading up the middle. Guess where that? He's playing a traditional second base. That ball was hit hard enough to get into center field.
It turned out he had to take maybe 4 steps. Line drive right at Escobar.
Next.
2 up, 2 down. Well, of course.
What did you expect? That ball to get through?
Well, the Rays are pretty thorough at establishing their defensive setups, and we've seen a number of them, and they are not hesitant to use them.
Well, and Joe Madden has said, why should I not be aggressive with the defense as far as how he sets guys up? The fact that he will, and we've seen him do it plenty of times. I mean, second, third inning, run around third, 1 out. He brings the infield in. He's like, why am I going to give that run up? Why do I want to concede that run? If I have the matchup or a matchup that I like, I'm bringing him in. Take my chances.
Well, they're taking full advantage of the information age, and a ground ball to third. Longoria with a 1-hop flip takes care of Dozier. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom half of the 8th. It's 4-1 Tampa Bay.
Bottom half of the 8th inning. Time for our AT Twitter poll as we check back in with who do you think is going to win the AL final vote. You've got the 5 choices for the final vote in the Major League Baseball All-Star Game to be played on Fox on July 16th, a week from tonight. So far, that's how the voting's going. Most of the fans that have voted agree with the current final vote, which is Steve Delabart leading the way. Hashtag ASG Delabart. There you see the rest of the choices as we move closer to the game 1 week from tonight. If you want your vote to count, go to MLB.com/vote, guys.
On to the bottom of the 8th. Luke Scott in here against the left-hander Brian Dunsing. Go for 2 with a walk. Did he check? He did not. He went around. That's a strike. Foul. Strikes. To the count. Four runs tonight for the Rays on 4 hits. All 4 runs, and 3 of those hits came in the 4th inning, which was also aided by 3 bases on balls. Joyce and Johnson with the runs batted in tonight. Two and 2. Kevin Johnson doubled home 2 in the 4th after Joyce had singled home 2. Line drive and a base hit into right for Luke Scott. Luke on for the 2nd time in this game.
Now it's starting to heat up. Well, it has been heating up, but he just waits for his pitch. Patient enough, waits for his pitch, finally gets Dunsing to make a mistake out over the plate, and he just shoots a base hit into right field.
Scott's too hot to be cool hand Luke. Got the rat tail going as well.
It's getting a lot. Hey, I'm telling you, it's getting a lot of play too. It's an aggressive look.
Back to the future. Good Zobrist bunts it, and it's a popper. Great effort by Mauer, but he comes up a little short. A bunt attempt, and Mauer trying to get back there. A lunging effort.
Now you'd expect nothing less from Joe Mauer. Fights through a little bit of traffic, and I think that actually hit the tip of his glove.
One to count. It's low. Two balls and a strike. Well, Jamie Wright up along with Rodney. Foul outside of third. 2-2.
That'll be another decision made by what the score is.
Yeah.
Stays 4-1. You're going to see the guy on the right come in. The guy not named right come in. Who's on your right. If it goes higher than that, you'll see Jamie.
The right is on your left as you're viewing to the right of Rodney.
Yes. Confused. I'm confused. It's late.
The 2-2. Pop. Foul, and that's going to carry out a play.
This is just another one of those games, and how frustrating does it have to be for Ron Gardenhire to see, right now the Rays have 4 runs.
Yep.
All 4 of those runs came with 2 outs, 2 runners aboard, an 0-2 count on Loney.
Yeah, and a very close check swing.
Yeah.
That could have gotten them out of the inning.
Yeah, and that's the Rays not giving up on an inning. Able to put 3 straight hits together after the walk to Loney, score the 4 runs, and so far has made it hold up because they've pitched very well.
Foul again, this one beyond the bullpen. Out of play.
But this has been indicative of this Rays little streak right here that they've been on. They've gotten solid pitching. They've gotten enough hitting. Nothing, fantastic. Nothing off the charts. Just an unassuming, put yourself in a position. 4-1 here. 3 more outs to go to close out this win and go home.
And the great thing about the offense, and it hasn't been break open the doors and the gates and the windows and all of that, but it's been good enough to win. But every at-bat is a professional at-bat. No at-bats given away at all during this stretch.
You're right. You try to think back and think of one. You're sure there's one somewhere. But, yeah, they just go up there and nobody gives away at-bats. They don't. That doesn't mean, because you go up there and you swing at the first pitch and you pop it up, doesn't mean you gave that at-bat away. That may have been your plan.
Yep. Down to third. Blue to Dozier 1. First base not going to be in time. So Zobrist reaches on a fielder's choice.
What you don't see is guys go up there and swing at the first pitch that's down and off the plate and hit a little weak pop-up, just kind of flare it over there. You don't see that at all. You combine that approach with the fact that, they're not striking out a ton, not compared to last year, and you're able to put some innings together.
Well, a pitching change coming. Ron Gardenhire out to make the Metro PCS call to the bullpen. The hitter, Casey Fiend, the new pitcher, the 4th of the night for Minnesota. Evan Longoria Bounces the first one foul. Evan came out of that play he made on the ball hit by Brian Dozier in the top of the inning with that right hand talking to him a little bit. A shot down there that he picked up and then one hopped it over to first. Zobrist aboard. Six for Gibson, all 4 runs charged to him, 1 scoreless for Renicky. Dunsing a third, giving up a hit, responsible for the man on. Strike 2. Drops in there in the mid-80s. Game 3 of the series tomorrow. Jeremy Hellickson works that one. Matt Moore will pitch the Thursday afternoon game. And then Houston will be in for 3. Turns around and heads to the track, making the catch. Harmony turned around immediately, saw the carry on that ball, and had a few steps before he hit the wall.
First baseman, number 21, James Loney.
And that gets James Loney up there. He drew that big walk in the 4th inning to keep the inning going. The Rays went on to score 4.
The Rays, as a team, they don't give up on innings. How about James Loney not giving up on that at bat? You remember that's where he had the very awkward swing to get to 2 strikes, but really knuckled down and did a nice job of being able to work that walk and extend the inning. Look what happened. Just those little things like that. It's not going to look like much in the scorebook. 0 for 2 with the walk, a big deal, but that was a huge walk.
A strike again. Hunter Wendelstedt alerting everyone in St. Pete and communities around. There's no question that was a strike.
Between him and Jim Joyce.
Yeah, that's great. Pitch is down.
But then you get Tim McClellan, and it's just it's a guessing game.
Wade.
He'll let everybody at home plate now.
No one else. It's a secret.
It is. A little bit late. Hand up.
Hunter, number 21. His dad umpired Harry Wendelstedt. His late father, over 30 years in the major leagues. He also had number 21. Foul ball runs the count to 2-2. Hunter working on about 15 years of major league time. Not quite halfway to his dad's tenure as a major league umpire. 2-2. Cut and a miss. Loney is out on strikes. The Rays have finished in the 8th inning. We'll head into the 9th with the Rays holding a 4-1 lead. It's Fernando Rodney time.
So be sure to join us at 6:30 for the Rays Live pregame show, driven by our Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll break down Jeremy Hellickson, who looks to make it 5 wins in a row. We'll also have a little feature with Jeremy Hellickson and Kelly Johnson, who today visited the little kitties at All Children's Hospital. And of course, it's Web Wednesday, so never too soon to start tweeting us your questions using the hashtag AskRays. And of course, tonight, after the final out, join us for the postgame show, driven by Checkers. Also presented by Checkers, not driven. Of course, that's your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll have Todd and Orestes, of course, steering the ship. Dwayne and BA have a special breakdown for us tonight, and I'll be in the clubhouse. Looks like I'll be gathering happy interviews tonight, guys.
Well, that's the plan so far. Thanks, Kelly. Fernando Rodney on, trying to close this one out with a 4-1 lead.
Fernando looking for that 21st save in his 39th appearance. 49 strikeouts, 37 and a third innings, an opponent's average of 193. And what we've seen out of Fernando Rodney since really the end of May, he has really come back around into his form of 2012.
36-year-old right-hander out of the Dominican Republic. Joe Mauer leads it off in the 9th inning. And the first pitch is a strike. Starts him with a changeup. Rodney got the last 2 outs last night. In fact, he got Mauer on a line drive to Escobar at short to end the game, posting his 20th save. Mauer leads off the 9th in this one, and a fly ball short center. That's going to fall for a base hit off another changeup. Mauer collects his 2nd hit of the night. Hit number 4 for the Twins. Ryan Domet is on his way to the plate. Rodney last year with that earned run average of 0.60, the lowest relief ERA in Major League history.
What the fact that he gave up 1 less earned run than months played in a big league season. Regular season.
Yep. That's a strike. 0-2. Fastball at 96.
Well, that run that he's been on since the end of May, since May 27th, he's got a 2-0 record, but he's 11 out of 11 in saves, an ERA of 2. Back to his dominant form, average against the net period 156.
Did he go on the appeal? No. A ball, 2 strikes. Two and 2. Rodney with the 48 saves last year. And then 1 year in Detroit when he had 37. It was in 09, 73 games with a 440 earned run mark. 2 and 2 now. And the count is full. Warno is on deck, so it's the middle of the order. Behind him, Plouffe.
Yeah, and you don't want to see Warno up at the plate, the chance to tie this game at all.
Tapper foul. So he'll have to make another 3-2 pitch. Guy in this lineup who's had unbelievable success against Fernando. There's a popper into short left, falling for a base hit. And so With 2 men on, it will be Justin Morneau up here now. Morneau homered yesterday. That came in the 4th inning of the game off Roberto Hernandez. And his numbers against Rodney, 6 of 14 with a couple home runs. That's why you didn't want to see him up here. Pitch is a strike at the knees. Bauer at second and Doman at first. Fouled back.
He had a rip at that. That good late tail on that. Fernando Rodney kept that pitch away from Morneau. And off the end of the bat. And now firmly entrenched ahead. Try to induce Justin Morneau to go outside of the strike zone on this pitch.
1-2. Fastball in off the plate. Archer worked 6, gave up 1 unearned run. Torres, McGee, and now Rodney. And he got him. Came back with a changeup. Hard stuff until the changeup, and he had him out in front.
Well, he did expand with 2 strikes, and he got Morneau to chase. Here it is, get ahead of him, fastball, a good 97 right here. That late tail takes it off the end of the bat, yanks this one in, then follows it up with a changeup right out over the plate, picking up the strikeout of the dangerous Morneau.
And boy, that changeup was a great changeup.
That started right down the middle, and that late action took it to the outside edge and down.
First pitch, fastball, that's a strike. First time Plouffe and Rodney have matched up. You have to be careful with him as well. He has some pop in his bat. Swings through a 96-mile-per-hour fastball.
Well, if you're Fernando Rodney, if you want to go another fastball middle in with even a little bit more elevation.
It's up some elevation. He upped the elevation and the velocity. That one at 99.
Yeah, that had some fuzz on it. But that previous swing on the fastball at 96, you could see it beat Plouffe above the hands. Just there was no way he was going to be able to get to that pitch. So you could go right in that same spot, maybe even a little bit higher.
And that's a foul ball.
Well, I love the idea. I love what they're trying to do here. But now, when do you transition? You continue to go there, or do you say, you know what? You'd like to say set up for the changeup here, but he beat him so badly with the fastball, you don't want to do him a favor.
The 1-2. And he comes back, changeup, and strikes him out.
You're not doing him a favor if you put it in that spot. You can see the head shake. I mean, that's a tough at-bat right there. Takes that ball again right below the zone. Plouffe just like whatever.
Yeah, the 2 changeups to strike out Morneau and Plouffe. Outstanding changeups with all kinds of dipping action.
And those are the changeups you can throw with confidence when you're ahead in the count. I mean, just let it eat itself right out of the zone and see if they'll go after it.
Garcia goes after a changeup, strike 1. Oswaldo Arcia, 0 for 3 tonight. Young hitter out of Venezuela. Bauer and Domet hit their way on. Dropping base hits into center and left. Borno struck out. Plouffe has struck out. And strike 2, fastball. 0-2 to Oswaldo Arcia. Rodney trying to close this one out. Rays have won 5 straight, 9 out of 10. 0-2 and a foul ball. He's still alive. That one hit 100. Rays at 50 and 40. Royals have beaten the Yankees tonight. Red Sox play the Mariners in Seattle. Rangers have opened an 8-4 lead in Baltimore at the top of the ninth. Two popped up back foul. That's out of play on the fastball. Again. Low block by Lobaton.
Yeah, good block too by Lobaton.
The block on the changeup. Well, that's becoming routine for Lobaton.
And he gets down quickly and tries to keep that ball smothered in front of him, then shows good hop, getting up, getting after it, just in case there was an attempt to move up.
Struck him out. Change up ends the game. Arcia strikes out after giving up base hits to Mauer and Domet. Rodney gets Borno, Plouffe, and Arcia all on the changeup, and the Rays win it 4-1. They've won 6 in a row. They won 10 out of 11. And the Rays at the moment are 3 back in the East. The worst they can be is 3.5. They have a chance to be 2.5 if they get a little help from Seattle against the Red Sox tonight out on the West Coast. Right now Baltimore 4.5 back. So the Rays win again, and they continue the stretch marching to the All-Star break. Now they are a season high 11 over 500 at 51 and 40. Great pitching tonight. Timely hitting in their 4-run fourth, taking advantage of a couple of leadoff walks. And right now, let's go to the field and Todd Callis.
Dwayne, thanks. In that 4-run fourth inning, there were 3 walks issued before Matt Choice came to the plate. We're talking to Matt now. Matt, how do you approach that at bat? Obviously, the starter was dealing with some control issues. You want to be selectively aggressive there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to try to get ahead, and I figured he'd throw a 2-seam, and you know, like you said, I just wanted to be aggressive in the strike zone, and it worked out for me.
That was a tough pitch. It looked like it was tailing away from you. When you're struggling, is that one you roll over? And tonight, was that a good swing on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones that's a tough pitch to handle. You know, I just tried to stay on it the best I could and not do too much with it.
What about this team right now? Does it, when everything's rolling like this, does it feel like even if you're in a tight game, at some point things are going to go your way?
Yeah, I mean, the team's great. Everybody's been contributing, and anybody that has an off night knows that the other guy's going to pick them up. So, you know, hopefully we keep it rolling and, you know, keep picking each other up.
Back to your familiar grounds tonight in right field. Since Will Myers has been here, you haven't been there in a while. Any fans out there say welcome back to you?
Yeah, I did. I did have some fans out there, and they gave me a nice welcome, and I came out with a big hit for them.
Is this what you were thinking could happen all season long when this team won a few, then lost a few, that this is the kind of run this team was capable of?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think everybody thought that way, and we're playing really well baseball right now. So, like I said, hopefully keep it going.
And it's been a lot of offense early, but now there's the pitching.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, everything's coming together for us. Pitching's been great, starters. Our bullpen's been coming in, closing the door. We've been coming up with huge hits, drawing walks, having great at-bats. I mean, all around, really well played baseball, and we're excited.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. It's a 4-1 final. Archer gets the win. He's 3-3. Gibson the loss. 1-2, and Fernando Rodney's 21st save of the year. We'll be back in a moment.